Right now, we'd like to bring our first guest on, who is one of my all-time favorite musicians, bar anybody. Tommy Z, welcome to the mic.
Hi, Rich.
How you doing, buddy?
Is this the doctor, right?
The doctor.
I am the doctor.
Let me in today.
He needs a doctor right now. He's not feeling that well.
I know, it sounds like it. What's wrong, man?
I bet you I can tell you what's wrong. He spent the weekend with my son in a hotel room, I'm sure, dining on Burger King and McDonald's, and just going to all crazy
I can't
places.
eat that stuff. I get sick immediately now.
No, I was feeling a little ill on the way down. I don't blame it on your son, Nick.
Yeah, good. I'm glad,
Yeah.
because I don't want to lose.
There's a lot of other things I blame on him.
So, Tommy, you've always been busy, and you started, you're a Buffalo legend. You're a very young man. To be, to have the status. Your talent has preceded you since you were very, very young. You've gotten involved with a lot of scenes, a bunch of different scenes. And one thing I know about Tommy Z, and I swear to God I know this. You okay over there, son?
Swallowing a cough drop.
What's going on?
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to look at Tommy from
Don't
now
even. I was choking on a cough drop.
Whoa, me. Tommy can shred. You can shred like a maniac. That was kind of you were into like a metal scene when you were younger,
I
correct?
came into this backwards in terms of guitar playing. I really loved guitar players like Eddie Van Halen, Steve Vai, Ritchie Blackmore, and I learned quite a bit of their styles, or bits and pieces. But at some point, I realized I could burn diminished arpeggios up and down the neck, and I couldn't play a Chuck Berry.
Right.
A 12-bar rockin' thing or a blues thing. So I realized there were some shortcomings there and got a great opportunity by way of, a friend of mine, my best friend in high school, his name's Doug Widdowson. He played harmonica. We met Stevie Ray Vaughan together after his last show at Darien Lake. And he took me to some places to play, and one of them was where you were at the Clark Street Cafe.
That's right. It's so funny because we were just talking about this. Willie May was on the show, and Willie thought that your first gig was with him, probably first full-time thing.
I think maybe my first paying gig was with those guys because my friend Doug had also taken me to the Lafayette Tap Room. They were doing a Wednesday down there, and then they offered me a spot in the band for the next thing. It was at Little Harlem before Little Harlem burned down.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was brought back somewhere else. But anyway, I remember going into to play. My friend dragged the Super Reverb that I had into the club, the Clark Street Cafe, I think it was.
Another place that burned. So maybe
that's right.
There's a banner going here.
Hold on.
I hope there's insurance on this building.
Yeah, I hope we're safe.
And Ernie Corallo was your guitar player,
right.
and you had this drummer, and I remember this distinctly. You were perturbed because just before the set, the guy had taken a muscle relaxer.
Yeah. This is the fun thing when you're dealing, especially when you and I are. I'm a little bit older than you, but we're close to the same age, and we got involved in these scenes with these fellows who are a lot older than us.
Yeah.
And it was so trying when you were before you could actually put your own band together and just say, look, this is how we're going to do things, man. We had to like get used to this, right? And we had to start playing.
Yeah.
And these older guys would do this kind of crazy stuff, They're either downing shots of Malox, on the breaks, or they're taking muscle relaxers. So it was I remember, it's funny because I didn't remember that until you just brought that up. Clark Street Cafe, that was fun.
Yeah, but yes, in terms of technique, and I've always kept it up, and I'm still able to play that style if I need to. If I'm trying to keep things true to the art that I'm in, the blues, which is about economical expression, really saying things with as few notes as possible. And I'm a three-piece guitar player who doesn't really like to play so much because when I had a bigger band, like when Chu Nero was in the band, I had a tenor saxophone, I had keyboards, and Rodney or whoever was on bass, Appleby, a tremendous bass player, musician. Everybody sang. So I was able to play a little tastier, but now that I'm back to doing like a three-piece thing, I'm playing a lot. It feels great. But, I also like to back up other musicians who are soloing and just to play tastier. But, again, I still keep up on the technique when I need it.
Well, you're very much a complete guitar player. I mean, you like accompanying, but, you can wail, bro. So it's cool to just go see Tommy Z and see him wail. I remember, going back to this marriage that you had of the more metal side of things and the more blues side of things. That's uncommon, to be honest with you. It really is. And you deserve a lot of credit for that because a lot of guys will, if they're into that side of things, the metal side of things, they're not really that turned on by the blues stuff. And like you said, you had met Stevie Ray Vaughan. One of the things that I remember, and I'll remember this to this day, I remember when Stevie passed, and I was partners in a music store in Woodlawn, and you had come in that day, and you were just completely shot. I mean, you were shot that day, and you had said, a friend of mine passed away, and I'll never forget that day. Do you remember coming in the store and talking about that?
Yeah, but as far as aside from the emotional thing you're addressing, I recall you needed a bass player at the time, and you asked me to play bass.
I did. Yeah, who did know?
I don't need a guitar player. So I need a bass player. You want to play bass?
I know. I was ignorant when I was younger. I really was.
It was just funny. It's a funny thing to think about.
But I do remember you being so moved when Stevie passed.
Yeah, because, you look at someone like Dad he was a real guy. He came up through the clubs, the type of things that we've, gone through and at an earlier time, and really came up to the prominence in popular music. There was like a wave of Robert Cray, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Fabulous Thunderbirds, and Clapton was always around, but there was this wave of blues things, and that's when I shortly thereafter really started to get into the scene, and I got into the scene because of Harvey Morello got a recommendation from Gino McManus at a Buddy Guy concert, as I had done a couple of gigs with Gino. And I was going to college. I thought this was going to be it. I did like 2 or 3 gigs with Gino, which was fun and great, and Gino's cool. And I thought it was going to be it. But they were standing next to each other in the bathroom of Impact's nightclub, and I think Harvey was talking about needing a guitar player. And Gino was standing there, and he turned around. He says, "You know what? I think I got a guy that'll be right up your alley." And I got a phone call at my dormitory at Canisius College from Harvey. Yeah, and we did some great things after that.
Okay, we're gonna continue that on the other side of the break. We're gonna take a short pause and come back with Tommy Z. Gonna listen to some Tommy Z going into the break. Stick around, folks. Heard it on the Axe.